Welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. You know, an LLC, or limited liability company, is a super popular business structure because it actually protects its owners from personal responsibility for business debts. So if you're a focused learner looking to master the ins and outs of researching these businesses without dropping a single dime, well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the official public records of the Show Me State.
But first, I want you to ask yourself something honestly. Do you really know who you are doing business with? Think about it. When you sign a contract, wire a payments, or jump into a new partnership, the stakes are incredibly high. The risks of silent ownership, unverified partners, and hidden liabilities, they're very real. But the good news is, you absolutely do not have to operate in the dark. You can unlock easy, 100% free access to essential Missouri business data. Verifying a limited liability company status can literally save you from massive legal headaches and terrible investments down the road. And the best part? It won't cost you a single penny to do your homework. We're going to show you exactly how.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. First, why search Missouri LLCs? Second, the Secretary of State portal. Third, conducting your LLC search. Fourth, interpreting the search results. Fifth, real examples in action. And finally, number 6, actionable insights. I'll be your personal coach, holding your hand step by step through this entire process.
Starting off with Section 1, Why Search Missouri LLCs, the Gatekeeper of Info. To really grasp this, we have to recognize that the Missouri Secretary of State is basically the ultimate gatekeeper for corporate information. And the entire foundation of this system rests on a concept called good standing. See, an LLC is designed to protect the personal assets of its owners, right? But that protection isn't just granted forever. It has to be actively maintained. Good standing is the official status verifying that a business is legally active, compliant with state filings, and fully authorized to operate. Without it, a business can't secure bank loans, they can't expand operations, and they definitely can't claim vital state tax incentives like the Missouri Qualified Research Expense Credit. If they aren't in good standing, you probably shouldn't be doing business with them. And we aren't just talking about a handful of mom-and-pop shops here. The sheer scale of this database is incredible. There are over 600,000 recorded business entities tracked by the state, and roughly 530,000 of them are currently active. That is a massive, massive repository of public intelligence, just waiting for you to access it. Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 2, the Secretary of State portal, where the data lives. We need to understand the technical architecture of where all this data actually lives. Navigating to this information is a literal 3-step click path. Step 1. Open your web browser and go directly to the official portal at b-sos.sos.mo.gov. Step 2. Once you're on the homepage, just use the drop-down menu to select your search type. And Step 3. Enter your search data. It really is that simple. And nope, no user account is required. I really want to take a second to debunk a major myth here. People often think that corporate background checks and entity lookups require expensive third-party software or, pricey subscription fees. That is completely false. The Missouri public-facing query system is 100% free, accessible 24/7, and requires 0 login credentials to use. It is totally separated from the secure dashboard that business owners use to file their active paperwork. All right, let's get to Section 3, conducting your LLC search. Execution time. Let's take all this theory and put it into execution. When you get to the portal, you've got choices. The 2 most popular methods are the business name search and the charter number search. Think of a business name search as your brainstorming tool. It's absolutely great for checking if a name is available or for casting a wide net if you only know a piece of a company's name. On the other hand, the charter number search, that's your laser-focused background check. If you have a company's unique Missouri ID number, punching that in will pull up their exact record instantly, cutting out any confusion with similarly named companies. So the crucial point is knowing exactly how to tweak the search engine settings to get what you want. If you select Includes Names, you are running the broadest search possible, which is perfect for making sure your brilliant new LLC name isn't already taken by someone else. Now, Exact Match is what you want when you know a company's full legal name. And here's a little quirk to remember. The search tool completely ignores punctuation and entity designators like LLC or Inc., so don't get hung up on commas. Also, definitely try the registered agent search. It's a fantastic trick for finding every single business tied to one specific person or representative.
Moving right along to Section 4, interpreting the search results, decoding the data. So you've clicked search, and a bunch of data pops up on your screen. The status of an LLC tells a major story here. Active means exactly what it sounds like. They are compliant and fully authorized to do business. But look closely at forfeited. This means they've lost their active standing due to noncompliance. Maybe they just forgot to file an annual report. It's often temporary and fixable. However, administratively dissolved is far more severe. It means the state has stepped in and basically shut down their legal capacity to operate due to chronic, unresolved issues. And voluntarily dissolved just means the owners packed up and officially closed shop themselves.
Now, while the system is incredibly powerful, you do have to be aware of the silent ownership hurdle. Because of Missouri's privacy structures, the portal will not display a company's federal employer identification number, their financial statements, or a full list of who actually owns the LLC. Owners are only listed if they voluntarily report themselves in public filings. This essentially means you have to play detective and look very, very closely at the data you can see.
And this brilliantly illustrates our next segment. Section 5. Real examples in action. A successful profile. Let's look at what a successful profile page actually yields in the real world. Imagine we look up a fictitious company. Let's call them Show Me Burgers, LLC. When you click on their profile, you are acting as your own invisible gatekeeper. You'll immediately see their exact legal business name and unique charter number. You'll be able to confirm their entity type, their current status, which is hopefully active, and their date formed. You'll also see the registered agent's name and their physical Missouri address, which, by the way, is the official contact point if Show Me Burgers ever faces a lawsuit. Okay, I have a massive pro tip for you right here. Always click the Filings tab at the top of the entity profile. Remember a minute ago how we talked about silent ownership? Well, this tab is an absolute goldmine. It contains all the historical scanned documents for the company. If you read through old amendments or annual reports, you can occasionally find personal names, emails, and signatures of the real owners that just sort of accidentally slipped into the public record over the years. It is an unbelievable tool for due diligence. Finally, we arrive at Section 6, Actionable Insights and Disclaimer. Protect your interests. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how you can practically apply it. These evergreen tips empower you to protect your business interests today, tomorrow, and years down the line. First, never sign a contract without verifying that active status. Second, check that the registered agent is current, because if they've resigned, the company might be totally abandoned. Third, always look at the date formed. If a company claims to have 20 years of experience but you see they were formed last Tuesday, you've just spotted a shell company. And lastly, review that filing history for gaps or red flags that might indicate a poorly managed business. Of course, before we completely wrap up, we do need to note our disclaimer. This explainer is provided purely for informational purposes, based directly on source material from the state. We're just here imparting neutral, factual information to help you navigate the system. You should absolutely always consult a licensed professional or an attorney for specific legal advice or before making any major business decisions. Which leaves us with one final, pretty important thought to ponder. What hidden risks will you uncover in your next business background check? You now have the knowledge, the tools, and the direct roadmap to access Missouri's official database entirely for free. I really encourage you to test it out. Look up a competitor, a vendor, or hey, even look up your own business just to see what's out there. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer, and happy searching!